Welcome back, adventurers, to another Day Zero build for Critical Role Heroes of Exandria. Today we have Beauregard Lionett Expositor. I'm really excited for this character because I think she has a lot of cool moves that we can take advantage of. She's a 6 hand size, 29 health character with Brawler, Mighty 9, and Spy as her character traits, and Earth, Fire, and Water for her symbols. I've chosen the Fire symbol. I have a feeling Water is probably going to be her more popular symbol because of Big Fist Bash and Double Jumbo Fist, but I have some pretty interesting moves that I want to show you guys on Fire, so I thought that I would use that as my Day Zero build here. She has an Enhance, once per turn, your turn. Discard one attack, make a check of 6. Add the top 2 cards of your deck to your card pool face down as mid attacks with 3 speed, 3 damage, and the punch, kick, and slam keywords, add them to the attack stack. So, in effect, you are, after you've played your first attack, or second, however you want to do this, during your attack's enhanced step, you will discard one attack card from your hand and make a difficulty check of 6. So make a control check. You are allowed to commit foundations to pass this check, and if you succeed, you get to add the top 2 cards of your deck to your card pool as 3 mid-3 punch, kick, slam attacks. And as soon as the current attack resolves, you move immediately into the enhanced step of the first face-down attack. Now, they do count as attacks, but they do not count as attack cards, and that's going to be important coming up soon. Because we have her Enhance, commit 1 foundation, your face-up kick, punch, or slam attack gets +1 damage for each attack in your card pool. So say you use that top Enhance on your first attack, to get your 2 face-down attacks, you can commit a foundation to give your face-up attack 3 damage, because those 2 face-down cards are technically attacks, while not being attack cards. And some of that is kind of what I want to go into with Hello Sam, with some of her abilities. Excuse me, sir. Say hi to Sam, everyone. Alright. So first off, the reason I built her off of Fire, and I figured I'd get into this card first, Flurry of Punches. This is a 4 difficulty, 3 control, 4 mid for 4 with a 2 high block. It's got Charge, EX2, and Punch. EX2 being you can spend any number of momentum, and for each one, this attack is going to get 2 speed. As a static, if you have 10 or less health, this attack gets +2 damage. So if you are really late in the game, you've taken a bunch of hits, this can become a 4 mid-6. But I really like this, the Enhance. Your next attack gets +2 difficulty, +3 speed, and +3 damage. Now Rappa, whose attack this is, can destroy foundations to give you bonuses to your checks to play attacks. That's why he doesn't care about the +2 difficulty. But here, if you play Flurry of Punches and you use this Enhance, and then you use Beauregard's Enhance to get the 2 3 mid-3s, that first 3 mid-3 is become a 6 mid-6. So it gets the +3 speed, +3 damage, so it's immediately a 6 mid-6 that your rival has to deal with, and it soaks up that +2 difficulty so that you're getting all of the stats with none of the difficulty drawback. And I thought that was a really cool interaction that probably should be shared here. So that's the main reason I built her off Fire. Obviously off of Water you get Big Fist Bash, Double Jumbo Fist to boost those face-down attacks, but this is Fire has another way to use these attacks to her advantage. We have Heavy Kick, a 6 difficulty, 3 control, 4 mid-9 for a 1 mid-block. It's got the kick keyword, and the response after this attack is blocked, ready 1 foundation. So if you play this on a 6 and you check a 5, you're going to have to commit 1, and then your rival's likely not going to want to take 9 damage, so they'll block it, and then you get to ready that one up. It's basically just a free damage, get a card out of your rival's hand. Plus, you can then use your discard 1 attack to use this basically as your opener, which is really cool. Honestly, I wouldn't I could use this as an opener, and then play like a Flurry of Punches, and then use Beauregard's ability, so that's just how I would do it. We have Extended Back Roundhouse. This is her ultra rare. It's a 4 difficulty, 2 control, 4 low for 4 with a 1 low block. It's got Echo and Kick, Echo being the keyword. It's a responsibility that when this attack resolves, spend 1 momentum, you get to play it again from your card pool, but you have to turn it face down after it resolves. And it's important because the blitz here, if you have 3 or more cards in your card pool, build all face down cards in your card pool during the end phase. They remain face down. So this is a way that you can use those face down attacks, because you can echo this and it would turn itself face down. And then at the end of the turn, you just build all of those face down cards as foundations. So not only the 2 face down attacks that you used Beauregard's Enhance for, but your flipped echo attack as well. And that is incredibly powerful going into your rival's turn with more ready foundations, because Beauregard wants you to commit foundations for her effect. And that also works with Rabbit Kick. This is another reason I wanted to build her off of fire. It's a 4/3, 3 high for 4 with a 2 mid block, Fury, Kick, and Deadlock Stun 2. Again, if your rival has 11 or more foundations, you get to activate this attack's Stun 2 ability. As an enhance, after this attack resolves, flip it. Pretty good. It works really well with extended back roundhouse. Maybe you use this as an opener, and then you used Rabbit Kick. But also, you can spend 1 momentum as an enhance, or you discard 1 non-attack card from your card pool. This attack gets 1 speed and 2 damage. So you can use Beauregard, commit a foundation to give Rabbit Kick plus X damage. X equals the number of attacks in your card pool, including those face downs. And then you can discard one of those face downs for an additional 1 speed and 2 damage on Rabbit Kick. So if you didn't have the extended background house to build them, you can clear them from your card pool in order to get more stats. And that's a really cool ability to use these 3 mid-3s, which don't seem very consequential, and get the absolute most out of them. Next we have Bad Guy Roundup. This is a really cool Fat Gum card. It's a 4/3, 3 low for 4 with a 2 high block. It's got Fury, Powerful 2, and Slam. As a response, after you play this card, your rival spends a momentum. That's if you block with it, if you play it as an attack. Either way, you're trying to control your rival's momentum. And then enhance, if you have more ready foundations than your rival, draw 1 card. I don't know how often that's going to come up, but it could be useful. Next up we have Calorie Counter, a 6/3, 3 mid for 6 with a 2 low block, Fury, and Punch. It says, as a static, if your last attack this turn was blocked, this attack gets -3 difficulty and +2 speed. So it becomes a 3 difficulty, 5 mid 6. That's really, really strong. As an enhance, if this attack is blocked, gain 2 health and selectively flip 1 rival foundation. So you get to target their best card to flip, and you get to gain 2 health if they didn't want to take 6+ damage. And lastly, we have Haymaker. This is a really fun card. It's a 5 difficulty, 3 control, 4 mid for 5 with a 2 mid block. It's got Breaker 1, Flash, which means it has no enhanced step, Fury, and Punch. Its top response says, after you block with this card, your rival must play an attack as their next form, or discard a card. So that goes in hand really well with the Breaker ability, which says your rival's next attack gets -1 after you block with this card. So usually they would want to soak up the Breaker by playing a foundation card, but this way you would have to force them to make that check on an attack, which would mean they'd probably have to commit more foundations, or fail it and end their turn, or they would have to discard a card. And then response, after you play this attack, it gets +1 damage for each card committed to pass its check. So you could play this late in a string, commit 4 or 5 foundations, it gets 4 or 5 damage. So it becomes a 4 mid 8, 4 mid 9, 4 mid 10. At the end of a string, when you've already been throwing a lot of damage at them as your brawler Beauregard, and maybe they can't block that, and they just have to eat all of that damage. So it's pretty fun defensively and offensively. It's not really a make or break card, but it's got some moves to itself. As assets, we have Titan Stone Knuckles. This is a 3/5 with a 2 low block. It's got Deflect 3, which means you add it from your hand to your card pool before the block step of an attack. Before an attack's block step, and reduce its damage by your deflect number. So in this case, we would get -3 damage if we use the deflect ability. It's got unique, so we're only allowed 1 of it in our stage at a time, vestige, and weapon. As an enhance, we can commit 1 foundation. Our attack gets +2 damage and stun 1. So we are committing a lot of cards with our own Beauregard here, which is why cards like, Heavy Kick and Extended Back Roundhouse can really help us fill up those gaps. But 2 damage and stun 1 is pretty good. We have a response, commit. After this attack is blocked, destroy 1 rival asset and your rival flips a foundation. So we've seen all of these really powerful Vestige cards, and we know how powerful assets can be thanks to cards like Knott's Flask, Cape of No Return. So if our attack is blocked, we can destroy any rival asset and force them to flip 1 foundation as well. And we get this cute little Brawler Brute Enhance, which we can commit this card. We may use this as card's deflect ability from our stage instead of our hand. So we can commit it, add it to our card pool during the block step to reduce the damage by 3. Just a little bit of last-ditch damage reduction there. For our actions, I chose Cute Host Koto. This is a pretty fun one. It's a 4/5 with a 2 low block and the ally keyword. As a static, it does not count towards progressive difficulty, which is huge. We play this as a first form, so the first card that we play, the first ability that we play after drawing up our hand. At the start of our end phase, we get to draw 3 cards. Beauregard wants us to string out, and she wants to discard an extra attack to use her top enhance, so it's going to leave our hand kind of empty. So being able to re-up that and be ready for defense is really strong. And of course, one of the best actions in the game, Barrier Shield. It's a 2/5, 2 high block, the ally keyword. It also does not count towards progressive difficulty, if we need to use it that way. As an enhance, we get to remove it, reduce this attack speed to 0. The next card you play this turn gains Breaker 2. So it guarantees that we're able to block something, and it gives another instance of Breaker. So we could play it with Haymaker and use effectively Breaker 3, or we could Breaker 2 and then Haymaker on the next attack, Breaker 1, and force him to play an attack. So really powerful action here. It also has this enhance, your rival cannot add cards to their hand during this attack due to non-character effects. So if our rival has a lot of draw support on board, we can stop them from doing that during one attack, and this card will not count towards progressive difficulty if we do that. On to our foundations. We have A Day for Relaxing. This is a 1/5 with 3 mid-block. It says enhance commit. This attack gets -2 speed. If we have a Fury or Kick card in our card pool, it gets -3 speed instead. So if we blocked with any of our kicks, kick, Fury, Fury, Fury. So if we block with any of our attacks except Flurry of Punches, we can give -3 speed to any attack, which is really cool. We have Combat Evaluation, a 2/5 with a 2 high block. It says enhance, commit, and flip. So we have to both commit this card and flip it to ready 1 foundation that has not been readied this combat phase. Again, due to her own ability, and maybe like Titanstone Knuckles, we're committing a lot of our own stage, so having ways to ready our stage back up is really useful. We have Peerless Footwork. This is her rare foundation, a 3/5 with a 2 mid block. Enhance, your kick, punch, and or slam attack gets +1 damage, so just each copy of this gives free +1 damage to all of our attacks, which is really, really solid. And then Brawler Enhance, this attack with a difficulty of 4 or less gets -1 speed. So if our rival isn't playing big difficulty attacks, we can give them -speed for each copy of this. That's really powerful speed hate right there. I thought this was pretty cool. Rejuvenating Prayer, a 1/4 with a 3 low block. It has Deflect 2 and Spell, so similar to Titanstone Knuckles, we can add this card to our card pool after the block step of our rival's attack to give it -2 damage. But it has this first enhance, which means during your attack's enhance step, this was going to be the first enhance you want to play. If your attack is blocked, gain 1 health. And this is really cool. So if your rival wants to block your attack, you're going to recover a little bit more. If not, then they just took full damage, so what does it matter? Then we have Capture the Target, a 1/5 with a 3 low block. It says enhance once per turn, tenacious, or playable while committed. If you have 3 or more attacks in your card pool, ready this foundation. So if we have our first attack, and then we use Beauregard to get the 2 face down attacks, we can ready this card once per turn. Any copies of this card can ready once per turn, so we can commit this to pass the check, we can commit this for Beauregard's enhance, and then just ready it right back up. Again, because we're committing our stage so much, we want to be able to ready as much of our stuff as possible. We have the terrific trio, a 2/5 with a 2 mid block. Enhance remove if you have 3 or more attacks in your card pool, your attack gets +2 speed and +2 damage. So say we flurry of plunges, it's a 4 mid 4. Our rival might not want to deal with it. We then put our 2 attacks in our card pool, and then we give it 3 damage. So it's a 4 mid 7. Maybe our rival doesn't want to take 7. Then we go into our 6 mid 6, because it's that first face down. Our rival might not want to take 6, and then the 3 mid 3, they're thinking, okay, it's just going to be 3 mid 3. We remove this, and now it's a 5 mid 5. We are stacking stats on stats on stats. Next we have incubating, a 1/5 with a 3 low block. Enhance, remove 1 card from your discard pile. This attack gets -1 speed. It's just trying to get more speed so we can be more defensive, especially when we're going to be usually half committed out going into our rival's turn. We have latent skill, a 2/5 with a 2 high block. Enhance, flip, discard 2 cards, draw 2 cards. So this is really good for cycling out some foundations to try to get more attacks in our hand to either string out with or to use for Beauregard's ability. We have frightening calm, a 1/4, 3 high block. Enhance, sacrifice 1 foundation. This attack gets stun 1. So we can sacrifice our committed foundations to not only keep ourselves out of deadlock, but we can also give our attacks stun 1, which forces our rival to commit 1 of their foundations to make our onslaught all the more threatening. And we have forcing surrender, so this set is going to rotate out Crimson Rampage and Heroes Clash from the My Hero Academia sets. Forcing Surrender is a Crimson Rampage card. However, it did receive this alternate art reprint in the League of Villains as a not a class reunion. What was the other one where you could get... It's basically a promo. So, because it has a legal reprint, UVS Games allows us to use the older versions of the card. Latent Skill was originally in My Hero Academia Set 1, but it has a Girl Power reprint. But if you don't have access to the Girl Power version, you're allowed to use the older version. So if you don't have these fancy Forcing Surrenders, you can still use the original Forcing Surrenders because it has this legal version. It's a 1/5 with a 2 low block. Response flip, after you play a combo ability, your rival discards 1 momentum. We don't really play combos here. But we have enhance, flip, discard 1 non-attack card from either player's card pool. We can clear our own face-down attacks after they've resolved, so we don't have to worry about progressive difficulty, or we can clear cards like City Rampage. Sure, our rival still gets the +2 to their check, but they don't get the +1/+1 anymore, so we can do things like that. So that's really, really cool. Next we have Shape Changer Skill. This is a 2/5 with a 3 mid block. Enhance, flip 1 foundation, your attack gets +1 speed. Pretty simple, it's just some more speed boosting for our endless string of attacks. And then response, after this card is unflipped, draw 1 card. We don't have any unflip in this deck. That's going to be more of an Earth style thing that you'll see in future characters. Stay tuned. But it's mainly here to give us more speed on our attacks. And lastly, Tusktooth's Crew, a 2/5 with a 3 high block and the ally keyword. Enhance once per turn, discard 1 card, draw 1 card. It's basically half of a latent skill, but you can use it once per turn instead of flipping it. And then as a brawler or champion response, we can flip this card. After our attack is completely blocked, ready 1 foundation that has not been readied this combat phase. So again, being able to ready up our stage after we've committed it to push all of our buttons and get all of our stats and all of our extra abilities. And that's going to be my day 0 for Beauregard Lionett. I think this character is fascinating. I cannot wait to start experimenting with Earth, see what I can do there. But I really did want to show off especially the flurry of punches and rabbit kick style of playing her, of giving all of these stats and using these face down cards in a different way than just let's give them 1/1 or 2/2 with double jumbo fist. You know, I want to try to think a little bit outside the box, and I think this is a really fun way to play her. And it could catch some people off guard if they're preparing for the water version, and they don't see like the rabbit kick coming to clear all the cards from your card pool and then keep going deeper with your string. So if you enjoy this video, or you're just a big fan of Beauregard in general, please leave it a like. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I will be doing Day 0 builds for every character in Critical Role Heroes of Exandria, and I've got a lot of fun other content coming out too, so your support would help me a lot. So until next time, safe travels, adventurers.